I can admit easily that I had a crush on Jasmine the minute I saw her.
For years, A Different World has remained one of the most beloved and culturally impactful sitcoms of all time. From its groundbreaking storylines to its unforgettable characters, the show defined an era and continues to inspire new generations. But now, at 59 years old, Kadeem Hardison, who famously played Dwayne Wayne, is revealing shocking, tragic new details about what really went on behind the scenes. What secrets have remained buried for decades? What hardships did the cast endure? And how did the realities of Hollywood affect one of television's most iconic shows? Hardison is finally pulling back the curtain, sharing stories that fans never knew. Stay with us as we dive deep into the revelations that could change everything you thought you knew about A Different World. During A Different World's six-season run, from 1987 to 1993, fans were completely invested in Dwayne Wayne and Whitley Gilbert's love story. Played by Kadeem Hardison and Jasmine Guy, the couple's on-screen chemistry was so strong that many viewers saw them as the perfect match, some even hoping to find a love like theirs in real life. But while their dynamic played out flawlessly on screen, Hardison and Guy's real-life connection was strictly platonic. One big reason? Hardison's heart was actually set on another A Different World co-star, Cree Summer. In a past episode of TV One Uncensored, Hardison opened up about his off-screen romance with Summer, who played the free-spirited Winifred Freddie Brooks on the show. Their relationship lasted about a year, and during that time, the two were often spotted together at red carpet events. They were so close that they even found ways to sneak some of their real-life affection into A Different World scenes. Looking back, Hardison admitted that dating Summer while playing Whitley's love interest on screen was a tricky balancing act. One night we went out, and then we started kissing, and the next thing you know, she was telling me she was in love with me, and I was just stunned, he recalled. And then I had to pretend to be in love with Jasmine while being in love with Cree. As A Different World evolved, Dwayne and Whitley became the heart of the show, with fans fully invested in their roller coaster romance. But behind the scenes, Kadeem Hardison had feelings for his co-star long before their characters became an item. During a 2018 appearance on The Real, Hardison admitted that he had a crush on Jasmine Guy from the moment he first saw her. When asked if she had any idea, Guy revealed that she first picked up on it while they were working on Spike Lee's 1988 film, School Days, even before they landed their roles on A Different World. She recalled how the cast would often go out and party together, and during one of those nights, she and Hardison ended up slow dancing. What she didn't know at the time was that Hardison had secretly asked their co-star Branford Marsalis to play the song again, just so he could dance with her a little longer. "But I'm older than Kadeem," Guy explained. "I was about 24, and he was about 20, and I wasn't really doing that at 24. I was looking more for 28. To which Hardison playfully added, "Way out of my league right there." By the fifth season of A Different World, Whitley and Dwayne's love story had reached its most dramatic moment, Dwayne crashing Whitley's wedding to Byron Douglas III, played by Joe Morton, and declaring his love for her in front of everyone. While the scene became one of the show's most iconic moments, Kadeem Hardison later admitted to Vanity Fair that he wasn't a fan of how it played out. "I just thought we had done so much stuff that was grounded in reality, and this was a complete leap," he explained. "It felt like such a snake-in-the-grass thing to do to some other guy who you were friendly with. I 100% didn't buy it. Up until the last day before we shot it, I was asking the writers to please fix it." Jasmine Guy shared her sentiments, recalling how she reacted after the initial script reading. "After we did the reading, I said, 'Are y'all really gonna do that? That is whack. That is so corny.'" While Whitley and Dwayne may have been A Different World's ultimate on-screen couple, it was Kadeem Hardison and Cree Summer who shared a real-life romance behind the scenes. In an oral history for Vanity Fair, the two reflected on how their relationship naturally evolved after years of friendship and working together on the show. "We were friends at first. We liked to ride motorcycles, and one day she pulled over and was like, 'I love you. I think I'm in love with you,'" Hardison recalled. And I was like, "What? No. What do you mean?" And then I thought about it and was like, "Well, I'm not messing with nobody and she's my bestie. Why not?" And then it just went on and on. He went on to describe how they quickly fell for each other. "We fell madly in love the minute we met. So we used to, you know, enjoy some sweet grass and laugh about it," he added. And then, like, it was just..." For her part, Summer had nothing but fond memories of their time together, calling Hardison a great boyfriend. "Honestly, when I look back, if a girl's got to have a first love, he was the blueprint. So kind, so generous, so thoughtful, and funny as hell," she said. Unfortunately, Hardison and Summer's romance didn't last, and they broke up before A Different World ended. Despite their split, they continued working together, which Hardison admitted wasn't always easy. "You're not together anymore, but you still have to go to work and be on set," he told Vanity Fair. "But it was a joy to get to know her and work with her, to see her grow and help her with weird cartoon auditions. We would do all of that stuff." And in case you didn't know, Summer went on to become a prolific voice actor. The two never went out of their way to keep their relationship a secret, often attending events together, and plenty of photos from that time still exist. But because their characters were romantically involved with other people on the show, and social media wasn't around back then, many A Different World fans had no idea they had ever dated. That changed in 2019 when a fan on Twitter posted a clip from the show where Hardison and Summer could be seen sneaking a kiss in the background of a scene. Tagging both actors, the fan demanded, "I need answers." Summer playfully responded, "We thought we were slick," adding a crying, laughing emoji. Hardison joined in on the fun, replying with a wink, "I'd say we were. Only took 'em 25 years to catch up." Years after A Different World ended, Kadeem Hardison reflected on the stark contrast between how the show was received back then and the overwhelming support it enjoys today. "It's great because when we were doing it, and even right after we finished, there was none," he admitted. "It seemed kind of unceremoniously dismissed. To me, this is a show that should have gone on forever." Despite ending in 1993, the series has remained relevant, with fans, both old and new, still discussing its storylines decades later. A big part of that continued love comes from networks like TV1 and streaming platforms, which have made it accessible to new generations. "I couldn't be happier that it's still on and that younger audiences are discovering it," Hardison shared. "The perfect time to start watching A Different World is around 15, right when you're looking at kids just a little older than you." He explained that for many, the show serves as inspiration. "There's a little bit of Big Brother envy, and then you kind of want to follow. And hopefully it leads them into school, higher learning, and a whole bunch of good stuff." A Different World was never afraid to tackle tough topics, addressing issues like racism, the HIV epidemic, date rape, and domestic violence. One of the show's most powerful episodes, Love Taps, delved into the reality of abusive relationships, and it was written and directed by Kadeem Hardison himself. This opportunity wasn't by chance. Executive producer and showrunner Debbie Allen had made it a point to include a clause in Hardison and Jasmine Guy's contracts, ensuring that the main actors had the chance to step behind the camera and into the writer's room. Hardison was inspired to tell this particular story after seeing a real-life controversy unfold. "We kinda based it on a semi-scandal about this rapper hitting this girl," he explained. "Then it kinda disappeared, and I wanted to address it." To bring the story to life, he collaborated with A Different World veterans Reggie Rock Bythewood and Ron Mosley. We came up with the idea, we had a writer assigned to help flesh it all out, and I think Reggie probably did most of the heavy lifting writing-wise. But the story was more me and Ron Mosley, Hardison shared. Ultimately, he not only co-wrote the episode, but also directed it, ensuring that the message was delivered with authenticity and impact. Another episode Hardison directed featured guest appearances from the late Tupac Shakur and Monica Calhoun, an experience that left him with some unforgettable memories. One of his favorite moments from the episode came from a particularly sharp line of dialogue. "Ain't nothing wrong with a city job. That's one of my favorite lines," he recalled. "You know, you came up and now you're up here looking down on us. Shout out to Monica Calhoun." But while A Different World was full of iconic on-screen moments, Hardison also remembered the unforgettable experiences that happened behind the scenes. One such moment involved legendary heavyweight champion Mike Tyson, who would occasionally stop by the set. He would come every now and then, stand around and watch, because, you know, he was Mike, Hardison said. One visit in particular stood out. Tyson pulled up in a red Lamborghini, immediately catching Hardison's attention. I was like, "Yo, Mike, that's a new car," and he was like, yeah, you want to go drive it? Here, take the keys." Hardison didn't hesitate to take the champion up on his offer. But there was one problem. He wasn't used to driving a stick shift. "I rode motorcycles, so I wasn't used to a clutch like that. But I wasn't about to turn down the chance to drive Mike Tyson's car down Ventura Boulevard," he laughed. What followed was a chaotic ride. I couldn't get it out of first gear, and we were just screaming up and down Ventura Boulevard, probably doing 55 miles per hour with the engine revving at 1 billion. Needless to say, the car didn't explode, Hardison joked. Academy Award winner Denzel Washington was another famous face to make an appearance on the A Different World set, but not in the way one might expect. According to Hardison, executive producer and showrunner Debbie Allen, known for her playful spirit and legendary connections, was the mastermind behind a memorable prank involving Washington. "Debbie is the queen of pranks and she knows everybody," Hardison recalled. Denzel was the object of her desire. He was her favorite actor, everything. This was her dream man. To pull off the surprise, Allen orchestrated a moment where Washington would unexpectedly walk onto the set. Everyone was in on it, except for Jasmine Guy. The entire cast and crew stuck around just to witness her reaction when the movie star appeared. "That was pretty dope," Hardison said of the well-executed prank, which has since resurfaced on social media. Beyond the scripted moments, these kinds of surprises were part of what made filming A Different World so special. Performing in front of a live studio audience added another layer of excitement. "Our studio audience was great too," Hardison recalled. "They got to see plenty of mess-ups and plenty of surprises." Of course, while Hardison will always be connected to Dwayne Wayne, the character he played for 6 seasons on The Cosby Show spin-off, his career didn't stop there. From 2015 to 2018, he starred alongside Zendaya as her character's father on the Disney Channel series KC Undercover. In 2019, he had a recurring role on Showtime's Black Monday, followed by a part in Netflix's Teenage Bounty Hunters in 2020. More recently, in early 2022, he made a guest appearance on Grownish, a college-focused spin-off of Blackish, drawing natural comparisons to A Different World and proving that decades later, he's still making an impact on television. In 2021, the cast of A Different World reunited for ES Reunion Road Trip. It's a Different World special, where they reflected on their time making the beloved sitcom and the lasting impact it had on television and its audience. Their nostalgia continued into 2022 when they participated in a live Twitter watch party, engaging with fans who still hold the show close to their hearts. For Hardison, the connections he made on A Different World have lasted far beyond the show's 6-season run. His friendship with Daryl Bell, who played Ron, remains as strong as ever. He and I have always, from the day we met, argued over our knowledge of sports, Hardison shared with Essence. There aren't too many days that go by when he and I don't talk. He's also stayed in touch with other castmates. Me and Cree, we still talk. I see Lisa every now and then. She lives close by. We're still neighbors, he added. While the show didn't lead to lasting romance for him, A Different World gave Hardison something just as valuable: lifelong friendships and a place in TV history. But before we conclude this video here, let's delve into little-known behind-the-scenes facts about A Different World that you might not know. The original premise was completely different. In its earliest conception, A Different World was meant to follow the experiences of a white student attending a historically black college. Meg Ryan was originally cast as the lead character, Maggie Lawton. However, before filming began, Ryan opted to focus on her film career instead. With her departure, the show's direction shifted, centering on Denise Huxtable's journey of independence, with Maggie, now played by Marissa Tomei, reduced to a supporting role as Denise's roommate. The original pilot was scrapped at the last minute. The first version of A Different World didn't sit well with the producers or the network. 4 episodes had already been filmed when they decided to make a drastic change. They brought in former Saturday Night Live writer Ann Beats, who also created the short-lived high school sitcom Square Pegs, to overhaul the show. With only 6 weeks before the scheduled premiere, Bates was tasked with creating an entirely new pilot. While A Different World benefited from its prime Thursday nighttime slot between The Cosby Show and Cheers, critics were unimpressed. Early reviews were brutal, describing the show as bland and unfunny, awful, calamitously drab, and a big yawn. Lisa Bonet's pregnancy changed everything. As A Different World wrapped its first season, Lisa Bonet, newly married to Lenny Kravitz, announced her pregnancy. This unexpected development made the decision to write her out of the show much easier. Bonet's departure also marked the exit of Ann Beats and Marissa Tomei, paving the way for Debbie Allen to take over as showrunner and transform the series into the culturally impactful show it became. Lisa Bonet and Marissa Tomei remain close friends. Despite their brief time working together, Lisa Bonet and Marissa Tomei formed a deep friendship. Tomei became the godmother to all 3 of Bonet's children and was even present for the birth of 2 of them. Their bond remains strong decades after their time on A Different World. Debbie Allen strived for authenticity. As a proud Howard University alum, Debbie Allen was determined to make A Different World a more accurate reflection of life at historically black colleges. To keep the show grounded in reality, she took the writing team on annual field trips to Spelman and Morehouse colleges in Atlanta. These visits weren't just about observing campus life, they were research missions. Writers studied the latest dorm trends, fashion styles, and most importantly, they spoke with students and administrators to learn about the real issues young black college students were facing. These conversations helped shape the show's storylines, ensuring that A Different World felt both relevant and authentic. A David Bowie concert inspired Dwayne Wayne's glasses. Dwayne Wayne's signature flip-up glasses weren't just a random fashion choice. They were a stroke of inspiration from A Different World's original showrunner, Ann Beats. While looking for a way to give Kadeem Hardison's character a slightly nerdy but distinctive look, she attended a David Bowie concert. There, she noticed guitarist Carlos Alomar wearing a pair of unique flip-top sunglasses. The look stuck with her, and soon those very glasses became a defining part of Dwayne Wayne's style. Jasmine Guy borrowed her third-grade teacher's accent for Whitley. When Jasmine Guy first auditioned for A Different World, she went out for the role of Jaleesa, which ultimately went to Dawn Lewis. But when she returned to read for Whitley, she wasn't entirely sure how to capture the essence of a Southern belle. So she went with what had always earned her laughs as a child. She mimicked the exaggerated accent of her third-grade teacher, Mrs. Pinkard. That over-the-top, upper-crust Southern drawl became Whitley Gilbert's signature sound. Whitley Gilbert was based on the show's head writer. Whitley Gilbert's privileged background and occasional cluelessness weren't just a character choice. They were inspired by the real-life experiences of A Different World's head writer, Susan Fales Hill. The daughter of a glamorous Haitian actress and a wealthy Italian businessman, Fales Hill grew up in an elite world filled with private schools and household staff. But when she arrived at Harvard as a freshman, she struggled to fit in. Other black students often shunned her, accusing her of acting white. Her experiences helped shape Whitley's journey, showing that privilege, culture, and identity could be more complex than they seemed on the surface. The series had ties to school days. Before A Different World became the defining show about life at a historically black college, some of its cast members had already explored the subject in Spike Lee's 1988 film, School Days. Jasmine Guy, Kadeem Hardison, and Darrell M. Bell all appeared in the movie, which delved into the social and political dynamics of an HBCU. Years later, Lee admitted in a 2008 interview with Vibe that he regretted not turning School Days into a television series himself. "I fell asleep on that one," he said. Roseanne Barr's unexpected cameo. In one of the more surprising guest appearances, Roseanne Barr and her then-husband Tom Arnold made an uncredited cameo during an episode about the 1992 Los Angeles riots. The two played looters ransacking a high-end boutique alongside a group of suburban soccer moms. Debbie Allen came up with the idea to include white looters in the scene to highlight something mainstream news coverage often ignored: that people of all races took part in the chaos following the Rodney King verdict. Cree Summer's iconic voice work. Long before she played the free-spirited Freddie Brooks, Cree Summer had already made a name for herself in the world of voice acting. She had been voicing Penny in Inspector Gadget since childhood, and during and after A Different World, she continued lending her voice to animated series such as Rugrats, The Care Bears, and As Told by Ginger. She's also been the voice of the Green M&M for more than 2 decades. In 1991, she even appeared in Michael Jackson's groundbreaking black or white music video, morphing in one of the famous transformation sequences. A controversial interracial romance. Charnel Brown, who played the hard-working pre-med student Kim Reese, faced backlash when her character dated a white student on the show. In a 2014 interview, she revealed that much of the outrage came from men in prison who wrote angry letters questioning why A Different World had paired the only black girl on the show with a white man. Brown also struggled in Hollywood for years due to colorism, often being told that her dark complexion wasn't what casting directors were looking for. Colonel Taylor's real-life connection to Aretha Franklin. Glynn Turman, who played the wise and disciplined Colonel Bradford Taylor, had a deep connection to the show's theme song. His ex-wife, none other than Aretha Franklin, performed it from Season 2 through Season 5. Meanwhile, Dawn Lewis, who played Jaleesa Vinson, not only co-wrote the theme song, but also left the series after Season 5 when her character eloped with Colonel Taylor. In reality, Lewis had accepted a lucrative role on Hangin' with Mr. Cooper, leading to her abrupt departure. Tempest Bledsoe found love on A Different World. Tempest Bledsoe made a guest appearance in 1989 as Vanessa Huxtable, reprising her role from The Cosby Show. While she didn't find romance on set at the time, fate had other plans. 5 years later, she and Darrell M. Bell, who played Ron Johnson, started dating. Decades later, the two are still happily together, choosing to stay committed without ever officially tying the knot. Well, that's all that we have for you for now. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed it and want to hear more, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when the next video drops. See you next time.